They're the sort of games that your kids will come back to and want to continue to play. Like one of the things that we hear most from teachers is that kids love these games so much that they choose to play them during inside recess, or they get them out when they've got fast finisher time. So the kids are actually being attracted to them too. So that is an absolute win.
The game itself is a great game, but add that extra layer to it makes it even more fun and learning, and can justify why it's sitting on your shelf in your classroom.
Yeah. We actually have an alternative to this game, which I think would be a little bit trickier to create, but you could actually play it with fractions. Welcome to Rainbow Skies for Teachers, the go-to show dedicated to teachers who want to make a big difference in education. Whether you're in your first few years or well into your teaching career, we are here to inspire, support, and empower you with bite-sized tips, simple strategies, and the motivation to lead an education revolution, one classroom at a time.
We're Ashley and Alicia from Rainbow Sky Creations, two Aussie teachers who love all things teaching and learning. We are here to help you thrive as you work toward making an impact in your students' lives while loving your life as a teacher.
We are here to help you bring joy, simplicity, and creativity into your classroom on the daily, because
there are rainbows ahead, my friend, and together we're unstoppable.
Let's get into today's episode.
Rainbow Sky Creations acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we record this podcast on, the Darrell and Woodjuk Noongar people. We pay our respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures.
Welcome to Rainbow Skies for Teachers. We're so glad you've dropped by. I'm Alicia.
And I am Ashley. And yes, we are so glad you've dropped by. Thank you for joining us this week.
We're going to have a little chitty chat about games. If you haven't learnt already, here at Rainbow Sky, we love games. We love any way you could take a game and make it into some form of learning, because games are fun and learning is fun, and bring them together and it's a match made in heaven.
Exactly. We also love getting creative. So I think you're going to see this creative side come out during our little chat today. And we also love repurposing things that kids already know, which we spoke about cards last week. We've spoken about them before. You probably have already got the idea that we love using things that kids already know, but it gets that buy-in from the kids. And the more buy-in you get, the better success you're going to have with the learning.
Absolutely. So we're going to bring back some classic games and some not so classic games, ones that are popular now. Funnily enough, I love going to op shops, and maybe it's because I got young kids. I'm like, let's just raid the op shop. The kids love it. They think it's a great find. Whatever it is they find, some strange little shoe or toy you don't need, right?
Yes.
And I always go to my go-to is I love puzzles. So I'm going to look for puzzles or any good 1,000-piece puzzles I can find. And I also have a look at the board games. And it was this one day that I came across, there must have been this group of women who were children of the 80s that said, we're done with these operation games. And I found about 3 of them in the op shop. I'm like, oh my God, I've never owned this game. It's flashbacks to wanting to own Hungry Hippos as a kid, but it drove your mother insane, so you never had it. And Operation was the same. So I went and got Operation. I've got a 3- and 4-year-old. It wasn't as fun for them as it was for me. And my husband's looking at me going, I'm pretty sure you just bought this for you, didn't you? I'm like, yes. I was deprived for 40 years.
How much did it cost you?
$3.
What? $3 Australian? That's a bargain.
It was pretty much top notch. All 10 pieces were there. Even, the little wishbone, the little butterfly, whatever it might be, the elastic band. I thought that was impressive. But we're not going to talk about, we haven't worked out a way to make Operation a really good kind of fun math game. It's probably just for nostalgia reasons. But check out an op shop if you're looking for any games that we mentioned today.
Yes, an op shop or a thrift store, if that's what you call it in your part of the world. They are a really great place to start for these sorts of things, because we don't want you going out and spending a whole load of your money. You don't need to do that. But some of these games might be tucked away in a cupboard, or we call it wet weather here in Australia when it's raining and the kids can't go out inside and play. So maybe in your wet weather cupboard, you might find some of these games in someone else's cupboard or at a thrift store, which will be nice and cheap. Let's get into the ideas.
Let's do it. It's a nice, easy one, the first one.
It is a nice, easy one. It's all about using and repurposing your building blocks. Now, this idea came to me when my kids were really little. They had those thick blocks that you could put together, bigger than your Lego, for example. But you could use, what's the bigger Lego called?
Duplo.
That's it. You could use Duplo for this or any sort of building block. I knew Alicia would know because she's in that phase of motherhood
I'm in
right
that
now.
era.
Yeah. But you can write on them with whiteboard marker so then they can rub off, or you can get bits of paper and stick it on to practice any sort of skill. So think multiplication fluency, addition skills, creating algorithms. We've even got a freebie where you can put coins on your blocks and to create $1. So the different combinations to make $1.
Yeah, we've got them for Australian money. So
Yes.
if there are any Americans listening who love listening to us, they're like, we really want that, send us an email. It's in our show notes and we can get that created. I actually found that those sort of like Posca pens or like chalk pens are actually really good to write on markers, because sometimes if you've got a collection of like black Duplo or really dark Duplo and your whiteboard marker doesn't work, a chalk pen works well and rubs off super easy, promise.
That is good to know. A Posca pen was one of those things I wanted as a kid.
Oh,
that
wow.
I never got. Yeah.
I bet you've ordered a heap on Amazon since then, haven't you?
I do have a few sitting in my studio downstairs. I'm like, oh, I love these Posca pens, and no one else can use them. My kids will feel the same when it comes time for them to be adults, I'm sure.
A good tax write-off. Well done there. So get your blocks out. They're versatile. I know we're going to talk predominantly about maths here, but you can apply this to literacy activities too. Like there is lots of versatility with blocks. And sometimes I love to just throw it out to your kids in your class and be like, they might come up with a game. If you start an idea, they'll come up with a game. You'll notice that's a common pattern with me where I'm like, just see what your kids come up with.
You know, the other thing, while we're talking about asking your class, by the time kids get to primary school, so kindergarten through to grade 6, their parents are in that phase of trying to get rid of some of the toys in their house because their kids aren't at home as much.
Good point.
Asking the kids, you know what, if anyone's got some old blocks at home that you're not using or any of these games that we talk about today, donate them to our class. We would love to have them. And you might get some real goodies that way too.
Yeah. Oh, the next one was super popular when you created this resource, Ash. This went bananas at Rainbow Sky.
It did. I created it with my friend Karen.
Oh.
I remember it was a rainy day and I had told her the idea. I said, we have to test it. So we went to this bookstore that was also a cafe. I had little kids at the time. They played and we tested this game, me and Karen, and we got so competitive with this game. We played over and over again and it has been a favorite ever since then.
You got to tell us, what is it?
It's repurposing your Guess Who boards into math practice. So it's the perfect game to assist your students in becoming those confident mathematicians and to practice that fluency in maths. It is not the same rules as Guess Who. So Guess Who, you have those boards with the little flaps that stick up and you're asking questions to work out who the person is that the other player's got. It's not that. The kids take turns to ask each other a maths question, and in the little slots where the people usually are, there are numbers. So they're their answers. And what they need to do is answer the question and put that number down on their board.
You've created a different version of this, haven't you, with like number bonds? Can't keep up with your creativity, Ash.
Yeah, so we've got one for multiplication, and then we've also got one for addition and subtraction, just with those basic number bonds. So we'll make sure that both of those versions are linked in the show notes.
And then I just had an idea that you could apply the original rules of Guess Who with a number. So you might not necessarily use the multiple numbers that are provided. You get a bunch of numbers, double digits, triple digits, and you make sure the opponents have the same number as well, right? Like in Guess Who, you got the same characters on each game board.
Yes,
so you want the same numbers on each game board. And it's just that they're asking more questions like, is your number a 3-digit number? And if it is, then they knock down all the 2-digit numbers, the 4-digit numbers. Is your, is it divisible by 2? Is it a multiple of 5? Like you can actually apply the same concept.
Yeah.
Anyway,
does it have a 2 in the tens? Does it have 2 tens?
Yeah. Anyway, that was just my moment where I went, you could.
We actually have a half-finished version of this that we've never done anything about, but it's all about fractions, a fractions version of this game.
The more you chat with people who create resources, you find there is this resource that went to die in a folder and it's lived there for about 2 to 3 years. And we have a few of those.
Yeah.
And fractions, interesting.
I mean, if you're interested in this, if you've played the Guess Who, our Rainbow Sky version of it, and you want a fractions, also send us an email. We're going to have all these resources like, please make this, and we're going to be like, ah!
So guess who? It's a great one. It's just a fun game actually to bring out with your students if you're wanting to build on their descriptive language and like questioning skills. So layer it with maths. It's super fun. That was number 2. Oh gosh, at the rate we're going, this is going to be a super long episode. We promise we'll keep it short.
Yeah, we will keep it short. Just one more thing about the Guess Who very, very quickly. When we first designed it, there was a $5 game of this at Kmart in Australia. So you can get it super, super cheap because the original games are quite expensive. Just want to put
Yes.
that as a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, go for it.
Gone fishing game. Look, this is another game that drives me a bit nuts as a mother, where I'm like, play that in another room, please. So it's the one where you've got a circular game board and inside it a fish and it battery operates and the little mouths open, close, and you're trying to catch that fish with a fishing rod. So make it a bit more educational. On the bottom of each fish, get a sticker, like a circular sticker. You can just get them at your local stationery store, wherever you live, and just put whatever operation on the bottom. You could do times tables, you could do addition, you could do subtraction, you could do division. You could even, whatever your students might need to practice on. And it just adds that fun element of practicing their number fluidity, becoming quick calculators of numbers.
Yeah, it is a fun one. The noise might drive you crazy. So if you've got like a little space outside your classroom, if you're doing this during like group time or something, maybe that is a suggestion there.
I know. There are just some sensory things that can kind of set off. So just be conscious of that with whatever your needs may be in your classroom, even if it's yourself.
Yes, that's for me. It's definitely with myself. Okay, next up is Twister with a twist. And when we were in our local Vinnie's the other day, I saw Twister and I thought about this and I thought, oh, I should get that and we should change it up for learning. Because when we actually thought of this idea and took the photos, I had to borrow a board from a friend. So do you want to explain how it works, Alicia?
So you allocate a number to each color and then choose a timetable to work on. We're talking about times tables here, just keeps it simple. So you would have your spinner. So you got your spinner and it might be, left foot and you've got all the colors and left hand and all the colors. And so for each of those colors, like for red, you've gone, all right, if they land on a red, it's times 3. If they land on a green, it's times 4. And so when you spin it, then the player then spins that number and they have to put it on a right foot. So on each of the feet on the board game, you would have actually put a number as well. Have I got this right, Ash?
Yes, you've got this right.
So you've got literally get your sticky notes and you get the students to or yourself to put the numbers like 1 through to 12 and you're going to stick them on the game board. You're going to put it on a foot, on a hand, on whatever color. And then on the actual spinner that probably to start off the teacher has, you've got that a red is timesing by 3, a blue is timesing by 5. And when they spin, they have to put their right hand on a yellow foot, whatever it is, and go, oh, that's 5 times 3. And if they get the answer right, they get to stay. And if they stay in that fun position, they get to keep playing.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Again, you could change this up for addition, subtraction, division. The world is your oyster.
Yeah, look, bring it into your literacy games. It could even be covering like vocabulary in your house, science, whatever it might be. Just adds a bit of fun and movement. We all know how important movement is. So yeah, gets different parts of the brain firing.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking, we did an episode a couple of episodes ago about outdoor games that you could do with your students. You could actually just draw up a twister board outside. Get your red, your blue, your yellow, your green chalk, just draw your circles.
Yeah.
And play it out there if you don't have a twister board.
I love it. That's such an easy way and no pack up at the end.
Yeah.
They're ready for the next day if nobody waters it down.
Exactly. Okay, the next one is Jenga, and this was so popular many, many years ago with teachers, and I think we need to bring it back.
I 100% agree. I felt like there was a Jenga surge about 10 years ago. It was like, how many different ways can you use Jenga in your learning?
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Ash.
So this is so much more fun than doing a worksheet or answering flashcards. Whatever skill your kids need to work on, use that to write on your Jenga blocks. But we're going to use multiplication because we love maths and we love multiplication, as you can probably tell here at Rainbow Sky. So on each block, you assign a question. Now, I wouldn't write directly on the blocks. We tend to like to put it on a piece of paper and stick it on so then you can reuse the blocks for other things later on.
But
so
you put washi tape. I liked that option.
Oh, yes. Washi tape's a great idea. Or masking tape.
Yeah.
Really easy to stick on and just write it and then just pull it off when you're done.
Yeah.
Great point. So you write your different questions on the blocks. Then the students play Jenga as normal. They pull out a block, trying not to let the tower fall. But as they pull out the block, they need to answer the question. So they pull out 9 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. They get the answer correct. They can keep the block. Now, another way, if you wanted some element of recording, you could always have a hundreds chart out or 120s chart out, and they're crossing off the answer on that. But you don't have to either. And this is just a really fun, interactive way to get kids practicing those facts, whatever they might be, but together with a game that they already know.
I think it's a great one. I love it. Might bring out Jenga out for game night this week without questions, though.
Yes, for your little children, definitely without questions. But I mean, in kindergarten, you could have your CBC words on there and they pull out the block and they've got to read the word. Like that would be really a fun literacy activity you could do with Jenga.
Absolutely. Actually, that being said, I could do that with Lena this weekend. She'd love it. She'd be like, oh, what? School holidays? Can we play more games?
Yeah. Or you could pull out numbers, just single numbers, and then they have to collect that many things or.
Yes. See? It's unlimited.
It is unlimited.
We have a good chat in this potty.
You know what I also am thinking? How fun would it be? You know how you can get those life-size Jengas?
Yes, I remember a few of those on some nights out in my younger days.
They're always at the pubs, aren't they? But they would be really fun. Like you could do a whole class game of that.
Yes. And I think even my daughter's daycare, they have the foam builders, like just foam bricks. And I'm just thinking even with like the littler kids, if you've got them in their play section, you could just pull them up and they could do stacks and just like pull one out or whatever it might be. Or you just got them placed randomly in a learning space and they have to run and get one and bring it back and solve it. So there's many layers to how you can make it fun.
There sure is. All right, let's keep this moving.
Yes. Number 6 is puzzles. Instead of using pictures to complete a puzzle, students need to rely on their number skills. So I find you can get these sorts of games here in Australia, these puzzle boards at Kmart. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s and there was heaps. This is what puzzles used to be. Puzzles used to be on a board and then you would put the pieces inside and they would have like little ridges to give you a clue on where it might be. So we're talking about those sorts of puzzles, but you could use any simple 12, 16 piece puzzle. And on the back, you could have it where there's questions and kids just have to mentally calculate it. But if you've got the paperboard one, where the puzzle piece is showing with the groove, you just put what the answers are. And on the back of the puzzle piece is the question. So we've done this with, oh my gosh, times tables. What a surprise. But do it with division, you know, do it with your number bonds to 100 or whatever it might be. And it's that fun way of doing a puzzle. There are kids who love doing puzzles. I am that kid. I would be that kid who would do the same puzzle over and over. And for some reason, my children have the same gene. You know, they love that repetition. So it just adds that fun to that puzzle. Or if you've got an old puzzle that your kids have been playing with, or no one's playing with it anymore in your classroom, put some numbers on the back of it and you'll see the interest come back and you're repurposing that puzzle and giving it a second life.
Yeah, this is a great one to have in centres if you've got a couple of puzzles and you've got a group just working on some skills and they're doing the puzzles and they're answering the questions at the same time. I really love this idea.
Yeah, it's fun for me.
I know if you're a puzzler, I've become a puzzler later in my life, you know. I was never into them, but now I am.
It's good. It's good for the brain.
It is good for the brain.
But yeah, it's like, who's this game for, teacher? Not you, for me. So number 7. Oh, this is a fun one for your construction builders.
Yes, building tracks. You know the old train tracks that are made out of wood? You can get them from IKEA quite cheaply, big boxes of them. But again, I would dare say there are many families in your class that have got a whole heap of these that they would be happy to donate. The kids are creating a track, but while they're creating the track, they're creating some sort of algorithm. So again, you could use washi tape, little stickers with numbers on them. Make sure that you've got some little pieces with pluses or minuses or times or divide. And then they need to create the algorithm. Now, this is really, really good for little ones because if they're doing simple addition and subtraction, let's say 3 plus 2, they can then get their little train and roll it along. 3 plus 2 equals 5.
Yes. Or 3 plus 2 equals 4 plus 1.
Yes.
So fun. They could just make a train track of number bonds of 10. You know what I mean? But it's an open-ended task. That's what we love about this. Like you could bring this out week after week and you'd probably have a few kids who would just keep going back to it because they just love it. They, you know, and then you can add that element of double digits, you know, of 82 plus 10 or whatever it might be. So have some double digits, have some single digits, but it's a fun one. But get creative. Leave it to the kids to get creative with it and give them a recording sheet or a tablet or something to take a photo of what they create, and them actually sharing that and explaining their thinking and the logic behind what they were doing is a great learning tool in itself in being able to explain their thinking, which is so important in life to be able to explain what you're thinking coherently.
It sure is. Now, we couldn't talk about repurposing games unless we talked about cards, because
Yeah.
they're one of our absolute faves.
They're just so versatile. That's why we love them, because you can just keep talking about them because you're going to use them year after year, day after day.
Yeah, they're the sort of games that your kids will come back to and want to continue to play. Like, one of the things that we hear most from teachers is that kids love these games so much that they choose to play them during inside recess, or they get them out when they've got fast finisher time. So the kids are actually being attracted to them too. So that is an absolute win.
Absolutely. And we've got a freebie for you. So if you're like, oh, come on, I'm not sure about this, well, get your free download. We've got place value wars where you have two players opposite each other, and we've got a template for you. And they're going to be fighting over who is going to make the biggest 3-digit number or the smallest 3-digit number, however they choose to do it. So you've literally just got the deck, you've taken out all the special cards, and they're just flipping them over. And you might even have it where they can't change the position of where they flip the cards. Or you might have it where they can quickly change the position where they flip the cards. So you can add that element of complexity depending on what the students would like to do. And that's another thing. It's a skill they're going to have to learn about discussing what rules do we want to have, negotiating, questioning, wondering, all that jazz.
So that place value wars will be linked in the show notes. And actually in that download, we've got a version for 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, and 4-digit numbers. So it will suit a range of grades, but also you can easily differentiate according to where your kids are at.
The best. Oh, Connect 4 is our number 9. Gosh, can you believe we've talked about 9 games so far? Well,
I
about
know.
2.
Connect 4 is one of my favorites. I love this game.
I have to back you up on that one. I agree. It's a great game. How would we use it as a mathematical learning tool?
Okay, so you need to get your little counters and put the stickers on them again so that you can play this in a mathematical way. So to play this game, on each little disc, you're going to have a question, and the kids need to pick up the disc, answer the question, and then put it into the slot wherever they want to put it in order to connect 4. So the rules are the same, but they just need to answer the questions. Now, as I'm talking about this and I'm thinking about it, yes, you could put little stickers on the discs for the Connect 4, or you could just have a pile of questions that they pick them up like a deck of cards, answer the question, and then put it in. It's like a little ticket.
Absolutely. Or you could have dice. Each group gets a couple of dice, and they're either timesing, multiplying, they're either creating 3-digit numbers, whatever it might be. And oh my gosh, if they get it wrong, they
have to
skip
skip their turn. Oh, bumper.
That could be between winning and losing. So you can be quite versatile with how you want to use Connect 4. The game itself is a great game, but add that extra layer to it makes it even more fun and learning, and can justify why it's sitting on your shelf in your classroom.
Yeah. We actually have an alternative to this game, which I think would be a little bit trickier to create, but you could actually play it with fractions, where the kids actually need to try and make a whole with their little counters or their little discs. So they might have like a half, a quarter, and then 2/8.
Oh, wow.
Does that is that right? Yeah, that's right.
That is. My brain's hurting a little bit, but it is.
Okay. Moving on to our 10th and final game. Again, a little bit of a loud one, but guaranteed fun.
Yes. So the game is Kerplunk. So it's the game where you have a tower, and inside it are like little sticks. So I feel like there's been a lot of different versions of this game over the years. Like I've seen a pirate one where there's all pirate swords, or there's other ones with objects all stuck in. So the aim of the game is that you're taking one out, hoping whatever is in this one has marbles, so you don't want all the marbles to fall down.
Yeah.
In the pirate one, I don't know the name of this pirate one, you don't want the pirate to pop out the top. So on each of those sticks, pegs, whatever you want to call them, you've got some questions. So I can see in this awesome picture Ash has done, she's got like washi tape and literally like taped it over to stick either side to make like a little flag, and written what a question is, whether it's your addition, any of the basic operations. So when they're taking it out, they have to answer the question at the same time. How fun's that?
It is fun. It is
Yeah.
really, really fun. And I think actually after this episode, we should both share some washi tape because we're encouraging it so much.
I know. A good old faithful Kmart over here in Oz sells so many different coloured versions that my children make me buy a new pack every time. I'm like, oh, how much washi tape is too much washi tape? None.
Yeah, so Kerplunk is a great game, and again, you could adapt it. So even with your kindy kids, maybe they're pulling out numbers that they're reading the word, or they're pulling out numbers and they're just identifying the number. It could be as simple as that.
Yep, it is a fun one. So can you believe it? We've just given you 10 ways to repurpose a game that's probably sitting on your cupboard, filling up with dust.
Yeah.
So shall we go back from the top, Ash? What were
Hit
the 10?
us.
All right, we've got number 1, building blocks. 2, good old guess who. Number 3, gone fishing. Number 4, twister with a twist. Number 5, Jenga. 6, good old puzzles. Don't let those puzzles go to die. Repurpose them. Number 7, your train tracks. Cards for number 8. Number 9, Connect 4. And we just finished there with Kerplunk or any type of game like Kerplunk.
Fabulous. I've actually got a bonus one.
Oop, go for it.
The bonus one is, those kinetic tiles that magnetize together?
Yes,
You can
magnet
actually-
tiles. Connect.
You can actually write on those with a
Yes.
whiteboard marker, and then it comes off quite easily with a baby wipe, or what do you like to use? Eucalyptus oil.
Yeah, or even like hand sanitizer if back in
Oh,
the
yes.
day of the pandemic, you've got a heap of it.
Yes, teachers discovered hand sanitizer had many uses.
That's it.
But you could write on those kinetic tiles to create, again, algorithms, even like fractions, adding fractions.
Yes.
Or
Decimals.
making decimals. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, we could brainstorm this for hours, but I just wanted to put that as a side note because we've posted that on Instagram many times and people always go, "What? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you could write on those with a dry erase marker or a whiteboard marker."
Yes. Can't forget the magnetic tiles. We will have a blog post about that coming soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure I'm feeling inspired. Okay. Well, I think that is a wrap. Those freebies that we mentioned will be in the show notes, so make sure you get your hands on those so you can implement some more games in your learning in your classroom.
Yes, and it's winter time here in Australia, so I've just got inspired for a games night. So thanks for the chat today, Ash. I really enjoyed it.
I know, it was fun, as per usual. We will see you back here next week.
There are rainbows ahead, my friend.
And together, we're unstoppable.